Welcome back to Poetry by Glenn Gales. In this, our 10th episode, I'm going to read his poem called Happy Thoughts. Thank you for listening. I hope you've been enjoying these podcasts. Glenn also writes and records music. His songs are available right here on YouTube or the YouTube Music app or any of the popular music streaming apps. If you're looking for some new tunes, maybe check them out. Now here's this week's poem. When quiet time is not sublime, thoughts march through your mind. Take heed to note their little coats and what they hide inside. Perhaps some worries, maybe doubts, or simply just concerns. Their tiny steps, if left unchecked, will like a fire burn. And burn they will, right up until you stop them in their tracks. As worries will, they'll stay until you gently push them back. If troubles seem to haunt your dreams when you lay down at night, draw the marchers one by one, right out into the light. A worried mind is quite unkind, and it should not be so. So one by one ask why they've come, and tell them all to go. Happy thoughts don't march in coats with pockets full of dread. They dance around to cheerful sounds and make you feel content. Worries marching to and fro inside your brain, it seems, will push and shove the happy thoughts and try to squeeze between. But happy thoughts? There are a lot. So many, I believe. Fear and doubt. Throw them out. Then happy you will be.
Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're exploring a really unique source. It's a poem called Happy Thoughts. And it gives, quite a fascinating perspective on our internal world. Our mission, really, is to pull out some maybe surprising insights on how we can actively manage our thoughts.
Yeah, what's truly compelling, I think, is how it uses such vivid, almost lyrical imagery.
Right.
It really paints a picture of that constant mental chatter inside us,
Yeah.
Especially the subtle nature of worries, how they kind of sneak in. It's more than description. It feels like it's revealing something.
That's a great way to put it, revealing. Because the poem jumps right into the nature of unwanted thoughts.
It does.
It talks about thoughts that march through your mind, which is already quite an image. But then it adds this layer telling us to take heed to note their little coats and what they hide inside.
Those little coats.
Exactly. And it specifies what might be hiding worries, maybe doubts, or simply just concerns. What do you think is the real power of that metaphor? Is it just pretty language?
Well, I don't think so. The coats, the hidden contents, it really nails the subtle, sometimes, deceptive nature of these thoughts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And what's really surprising is how this poem captures something modern psychology talks about now. How even the smallest unchecked worry can, spiral. The source is very clear. It warns. Their tiny steps, if left unchecked, will like a fire burn.
Wow.
It's this timeless warning, really, about letting things fester mentally, how something small can just take over.
That image, thoughts burning like fire if unchecked, that's certainly stark.
So, okay, it warns us, but what does the poem suggest we actually do? It seems to shift into some very active strategies.
It absolutely does. It's not passive at all.
It urges you to stop them in their tracks and gently push them back, which sounds, gentle but firm.
Right.
But I was really struck by the next part. It tells you to draw the marchers one by one right out into the light.
Yeah. And then this direct instruction. Ask why they've come and tell them all to go. It sounds like a confrontation. But is it always just about dismissal? I mean, sometimes don't worries where coats hiding something important we should listen to.
That's a really insightful question. The poem definitely emphasizes a proactive dismissal, doesn't it? It connects that to the idea that a worried mind is quite unkind. But that act of drawing them into the light and asking why they've come, that does imply a moment of conscious engagement. Right.
Okay, so not just swatting them away blindly.
Exactly. It's less about ignoring, more about conscious discernment, like quickly assessing them, understanding what they are, and then choosing to dismiss the ones that aren't helpful, rather than letting them just linger and cause distress. It's about taking agency, deciding what gets space in your mind.
Taking agency. I think we've all felt that lack of agency sometimes, haven't we? Those thoughts that just loop.
Oh, definitely.
It's like a song stuck in your head. And the poem contrasts this so well with the power of happy thoughts.
Yes, the shift is quite clear.
It describes these happy thoughts as ones that dance around to cheerful sounds and make you feel content. which sounds lovely.
It does.
But it also acknowledges the reality, that internal struggle. It notes that worries marching will push and shove the happy thoughts and try to squeeze between. That captures that mental tug of war perfectly, I think.
And that's a key insight, isn't it? The source isn't just giving us a simplistic, just think happy thoughts kind of mantra.
Right. It acknowledges the fight.
Exactly. It sees the struggle, the fact that unwanted thoughts will try to barge in, but then it powerfully reinforces the idea that happy thoughts, there are a lot. So many, I believe.
So there's an abundance of them available.
That's the message.
Okay.
And it gives that direct, really actionable encouragement. Fear and doubt, throw them out with the promise that if you do this, happy you will be. It's about actively, consciously choosing to create space for joy, maybe, not just passively hoping it shows up.
So wrapping this up, what's the sort of practical takeaway here, this deep dive into happy thoughts? It feels like a wonderfully concise and actually surprisingly practical guide.
Yeah.
It's about actively engaging with and managing your own internal world for a more positive outcome. It's less like just poetry and more like a playbook almost.
A playbook for mental resilience, perhaps. And that really raises an important question, I think, for you, the listener.
Okay.
Considering the unique coats your own thoughts might be wearing, how might you begin to draw them into the light? Maybe just one marcher to start, to understand it better, and maybe foster a state where those happy thoughts really can dance.
Thanks for listening. Going forward, I hope that you find it easier to think some happy thoughts. After reading this poem, I know I am going to try to think more of them, at least for the rest of today. I hope you'll join us next Saturday for another poem by Glenn. Until then, maybe give some of his music a listen on the YouTube Music app or your favorite app. Have a great day and an awesome week. Looking forward to being with you next time. Bye for now.